Hey everyone! In this video, we'll be talking about the effects of our parameter k given quadratic functions in vertex form. Here's today's learning target. Given a quadratic function in vertex form, I will be able to describe the effects of k. In our last lesson, we talked about how h gives us our horizontal translation. What does k tell us? Let's find out. So today, we are focusing on k. Here's the general vertex form. F of x equals a times x minus h quantity squared plus k. But since we're focusing on k today, we're going to ignore a and h. So our general forms today will look like f of x equals x squared plus k. And we're going to look at what k does. So what does k tell us? First, let's make some observations using Desmos. So here I have my parent function, f of x equals x squared, and I also have the function f of x equals x squared plus k. Let's see what happens to the parabola as k gets larger, so as k becomes more positive. And then let's see what happens as k becomes more negative. So what did you notice about the effects of k? K gives us our vertical translation. So it tells us whether to move up or down. If k is positive, we translate up, and if k is negative, we translate down. To remember this, think of a thermometer, where when it gets colder, so when the temperature goes in the negatives, it goes down. So based on these effects, let's take a look at some examples. For our first example, we will describe the transformation of this function, f of x equals x squared plus 2. As usual, we are going to compare this with the general form. The general form is f of x equals x squared plus k. We have an exact match, so I know that k equals positive 2. Since k equals positive 2, we will be moving up. So we need to describe this movement. So we have a parabola that translates or moves two units up because k is positive. So because our k value is positive 2, we will be moving the parabola 2 units up. If you graph this function on Desmos, you will notice that this function is translated 2 units up compared to the parent function. For example 2, we will describe the transformation of the function f of x equals x squared plus 5. Our general form for this lesson is f of x equals x squared plus k. We have an exact match and k is replaced by 5. So I know that k equals positive 5, so we will be moving up. So we need to provide the description. So again, we have a parabola that translates 5 units up because k is positive. So we have a parabola that translates 5 units up, as you can see in this graph. Please try this example on your own. Describe the transformation of f of x equals x squared plus 6. Next, let's describe the transformation of g of x equals x squared minus 3. Do you notice something that's different here? Let's compare it with the general form. We write g of x equals x squared plus k. We do not have an exact match, so we have to rewrite the function. So instead, we'll write g of x equals x squared plus negative 3. Now we know that k is replaced by negative 3, so k equals negative 3. And since k is negative, we will be moving down. So in this case, we have a parabola that translates 3 units down because k is negative. So here we had to rewrite the function to see that k is negative. So we have a parabola that translates 3 units down, as you see in this Desmos graph. Let's do one more example together. Describe the transformation of g of x equals x squared minus 8. The general form is g of x equals x squared plus k. So we do not have an exact match, and we need to rewrite this function. So go ahead and try rewriting it on your own, and then press play to compare your answers with mine. Did you rewrite it correctly? So we rewrite it as g of x equals x squared plus negative 8. K is replaced by negative 8, so k equals negative 8. We have to move down. So we will have a parabola that translates eight units down because k is negative. So we have a parabola that translates 8 units down because k equals negative 8. And like I did here, you can always check your answers on Desmos to make sure your answer makes sense. Here is the last example for this lesson. Please describe the transformation of g of x equals x squared minus 7. So the vertex form of a quadratic function is f of x equals a times x minus h quantity squared plus k. But today we ignored a and h and we focused on k. K gives you the vertical translation, so it tells you whether to move up or down. If k is positive, we translate up, and if k is negative, we translate down. Great job today, and please remember to submit your notes on Canvas.